Good morning, class 9 students. I am your maths teacher and this is the part 2 video on chapter 2 coordinate geometry. Till now we have seen what is coordinate geometry, how to use the coordinates or points to see the distance on the Cartesian plane. We have also seen what is a Cartesian plane. Okay, in this part 2 video we'll discuss some of the questions related to the coordinate geometry. So let's start the video and let's take the first question. The first question is, write the coordinates of the points marked on the axis. So you can see the axis y and x-axis and y-axis to form this Cartesian plane. And you can also observe some of the points on the axis, that is A, B, C, D and E. And these points are lying either on the x-axis or on the y-axis. You can see some points. So these points you have to tell the coordinate points. You know that this Cartesian plane is made up of the coordinate points only. Okay, so using this you have to tell the coordinates of each of these points which are lying on the x as well as y axis. So let's start with the point A. So you can see this point A is on the x-axis, correct? It is on the x-axis. So first of all you have to tell the distance of each of these points from the y-axis. The first coordinate that you see, the first coordinate is the distance from the y-axis. So see, you can see this 4 or point A. So this point A is how much distance away from this vertical y-axis? It is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units away from the y-axis. Okay, so this 4 becomes the first coordinate for point A. Now, the second distance or the second coordinate is decided by the distance the point is away from the x-axis. But you can see this point A is on the x-axis. It is not away from x-axis. It is on the x-axis. So, the second coordinate becomes 0. Okay. So, for A, the coordinates are 4, 0. First distance, how much away from the y-axis, and the second coordinate is decided how much distance away from the x-axis. Okay, so you can see that the coordinates for point A are 4, 0. Now, similarly, we have to tell the coordinates of the point B. Now, how much distance away from the y-axis? No, it is not at all away from y. It is lying on the y-axis and the point is 3. Okay, it is lying on the y-axis. So, it is the distance, the first distance is 0 because it is not lying away from the y-axis or the vertical axis. It is lying on the y-axis. So, the first coordinate becomes 0. Now, decide the second coordinate, how much distance this point is away from the horizontal x-axis. It is 1, 2 and 3 units away from the x-axis. So, the coordinates become 0, 3. Okay, for B. Now, see again the point C. How much distance it is away from the vertical axis or the y-axis? That is -5. It is away from y-axis. So, first point becomes -5. Now, how much distance away from the horizontal axis? It is not at all away from the horizontal or x-axis. It is lying on the x-axis. Therefore, the coordinates become -5 and 0. Okay, -5 and 0. Now let's see point D. How much distance away from the vertical y-axis? It is not at all away. It is on the y-axis. First coordinate becomes 0. How much distance away from the vertical x-axis? It is 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 4 in downward direction. So, minus 4 centimeters away from the vertical x-axis or the horizontal axis. So, the coordinate becomes 0, minus 4. Okay. Now see the coordinates for the point E. How much distance away from the vertical axis? It is 1, 2 and 2.5 because it is lying between 2 and 3. So 2.5 distance away from the vertical y-axis. And as it is on the x-axis, the second coordinate will become 0. So the points for or the coordinates for point E are 2.5, 0. I hope you have understood this question. Let's see how to plot more points on the Cartesian plane. So for that, let's take one more example. Here question number 2 is given where they have said to plot the ordered pairs x and y of the numbers as points in the Cartesian plane. Use scale 1 centimeter is equals to 1 unit on the axis. So we will take this type of Cartesian plane which is clear. No point is marked over here. You have to mark the points on this Cartesian plane. Okay. So the table is given. X and Y points are given in each column. Okay. So the first column is minus 3, 6. And so we can write these two in this form. Okay, so the pairs of the numbers can be represented in this form inside the bracket. Okay, so we have to mark this minus 3, 6 on this Cartesian plane. Also, you can see the distance between each unit, that is 0 and 1, is 1 centimeter as it is given in the question. 0 and 1 is 1 centimeter. From 1 to 2 it is 1 centimeter. 2 to 3 again 1 centimeter. It was followed in the negative side also and also on the y-axis. So the distance between this minus 1 and minus 2 is also 1 centimeter. Minus 2 and minus 3 is also 1 centimeter. Okay. So now we have to plot the point. The first point is minus 3. So minus 3 is the distance away from the y-axis. So from y-axis minus 3 away is this distance. Okay. So from here we will start making a vertical line. Okay. How much distance away from the x-axis, that will be told by the second point, that is 6. So from here, how much horizontal distance away from the x-axis? It is this line. Okay. So this is 6 units above in positive from the x-axis. So here we get a point and we can mark it as A minus 3, 6. Okay. Let's understand the second point, 2, minus 3.5. So 2 distance away from the vertical y-axis. And how much distance away? Minus 3.5. Okay. So let's see. 2 away from the y-axis and minus 3.5 away from the x-axis, means below the x-axis, that is here, and the point will be marked over here like this, where these two lines join, and we can mark it as 2, minus 3.5. Okay. Now see, both the points are in negative, minus 1 and minus 3. So minus 1 distance away from the y-axis. From origin, minus 1 distance away is in this third quadrant. And also it is said minus 3 distance away from the x-axis. So minus 3 distance is this away from the x-axis, that is below. So it will be here. Okay. So here we can join these two lines, -1 away from the vertical and -3 away from the x-axis, and we can join it over here. Mark it as point C, -1, -3. Okay. Okay. Now let's see the fourth one, that is 4, 4. So this would be marked in the first quadrant only. So for 4 units away from the y-axis, vertical y-axis. So here, and 4 units away from the x-axis. So here we join this point, we get a point over here, and we can mark it as D, 4, 4. Okay, this is how we plot the points on the Cartesian plane. Okay, these are some of the examples, the way the questions would be given, and you have to mark the points on the Cartesian plane. Okay, so I hope you have understood how to make mark the points on the Cartesian plane when the tabular type of ordered pairs are given in the question. So on basis of this, now you have to solve the exercise 2.1. Okay, these are the textbook questions and you have to solve them in your notebooks. Okay, so this question number 2, see the figure 3.14 and write the following. So this is in the continuation with this diagram. Okay, and there are some more questions also. The point identified by the coordinates 2, -4. So this you have to see from here. 2 is in the positive 2 and -4 here. So this is point G. So on the basis of this diagram, you have to answer the remaining questions. In the previous slide also, these 3 questions, and here also. Okay. And next is exercise 2.2, where these points are given and you have to tell about in which quadrants these points will lie. Okay, and the next question is, these are some ordered pair and you have to mark it on the Cartesian plane. Okay, so please solve your assignment. These are the textbook questions. Please solve them. Thank you.